Good afternoon, students. Thank you so much for getting to your seats so quietly. Today for language arts, we're going to be talking about folklore. We talked about folklore yesterday, Brielle. Can you tell me what the definition is again?
It is pretend stories passed down by families.
Very good job. Ricardo, do you remember any folklore stories that we talked about yesterday?
Yeah, Cinderella.
Great job. Cinderella is a great example of a folk story because it is a pretend story, sadly, and it was passed down, and that's how we have it today. So, today for language arts, we are going to be reading Cinderella, and it is an example of the Cinderella story. And we are going to be looking at elements of fiction and filling out this chart together. Elements of fiction is another way of saying parts of a fiction story. And in our story, we're going to have a couple different things that we're going to be talking about. We are going to be looking at the plot. George, can you come up and point to the plot for me? Great job, good work. All right. Ricardo, do you remember what a plot is?
Yes, it is what is happening in the story.
Good work, very nice. All right. Carlos, can you come up and point to characters for me? Great job. All right, Brielle, can you remind me what a character is in a story?
The people in the story.
Very nice work, I like it. Characters in a story are what the people in the story are all about. All right, and now we have three more things. There is the setting. Does anyone remember what the setting is? All right, Brielle, yes.
Where the story takes place.
Great job. All right, can I have Carlos come up and point to the conflict for me? Great job. All right, Brielle, do you remember what the conflict is?
The problem in the story.
Yes, the problem, when everything goes all wrong. All right, and finally, the resolution. Does anyone remember what the resolution is?
How the problem is fixed in the story.
Great, woohoo, the problem's fixed, it's amazing. All right, in our story, Cinderella, we are going to actually talk a little bit about the setting because it is pretty cool. All right. So, in our handy dandy world map, we are going to be talking about the setting. The setting of Cinderella is actually in the Caribbean area. And the Caribbean, to get a little closer look, is very close to the United States. If you look up in that little tiny corner picture there, the United States is right above the Caribbean. So we are super close, but the Caribbean is definitely very different than Pennsylvania, where we are right now. It's beautiful. There's so much sun, and people like to go there for vacations, and it's lots of clear, beautiful ocean and lush or beautiful green land. In the Caribbean, they usually use French Creole, and how you say hello in the Caribbean is bonjour. Can you all say bonjour with me?
Bonjour.
Great job. And I know we have some friends in this class that actually are from the Caribbean. I know that we have a friend from Puerto Rico, and so when you can talk to them, you will know how beautiful their land is. And we're going to read the story, and there are so many other countries that also have Cinderella stories that we're going to talk about. So let's get started with reading this one first together though. And as I said before, the Caribbean does have some different languages. They use the French Creole, and that's a little bit confusing for everyone. So I have this handy dandy little chart that has some of the terms they use in French Creole, so we can all learn together. And then I have some other words for our friends that know even other languages. Isn't that amazing that we have friends that know so many different languages? So then we have this sheet, so then everyone can understand the story. We also have the books in some of the stories as well in other languages, just so then we all can learn and understand the story together. There you go. And while we're listening to the story, keep your mind open and think about our elements or our parts of the fiction story. Let's begin. Cinderella. You may think you know this story I'm going to tell you, but you have not heard it for true. I was there, so I will tell the truth of it. Here it is now. Cinderella by Robert D. Sansorcio. He's the author, remember, the person who wrote the story. I live on a green island. Remember when we talked about the beautiful picture up there? That's where she lives too. Can you point to the clear blue water, George? Great job. In the Mer de Antilles, the Caribbean Sea, long ago when I was a child, my family was very poor. When my mother died, she left me only one thing, a wand of mahogany. 3 taps will change one thing into another. My mother has whispered, but only for a short time. And the magic must be used to help someone you love. Of what use would this be to an orphan like me? An orphan is someone who has no parents, who every day struggles or has a really hard time to find shelter, where you live under something and fill her belly. I could not use the wand. I had no one to love and no one who loved me. That sounds really sad. When I grew up, I worked as a blanchisseuse, a washerwoman, scrubbing other people's sheets and shirts as the riverside, drying them in the sun. Do any of you wash your clothing at all? No. Do your parents? Yes. That must be really nice for you compared to her. She had to do that all herself. One woman I worked for was kind. I often nursed her or helped her feel better. For she was always sickly and poor creature. That just means that she really didn't feel well. Like I'm kind of coughing right now. That's what she was too. In thanks, she made me the nanin, or the godmother of her baby girl. Look on your chart there, you can see nanin. That's a different word that we don't use in America. She named her baby girl Cinderella. Oh, no wait. I think I got an element or a part of the fiction story. Did anyone else hear that? Raise your hand if you heard the element or part of the fiction story. No one else? Oh, Brielle did. Amazing. What did you hear?
The character.
The character. Very nice. Carlos, can you point to one of the characters in the book? Very nice job. Nanin. Let's write it down. So one character. Nanin. I think I heard another character. Did anyone else hear another character in the story? Brielle?
Cinderella.
Cinderella. Very nice. And we almost forgot to fill out the setting. Very nice. All right. So, let's finish this page. When I held the baby in my arms, they spell baby, B-E-B. That's a little different than what we do in America. Look on your charts to check that out too. In my arms at her christening day, I felt such love, and I saw love return from her sweet brown eyes. Alas, or darn, too bad, sad, Cylindron's mama died soon after that. Then her papa, Monsieur, married again. Madame Prospin was a cold woman and puffed up proud because her grandfather had come from France. Puffed up and proud means you're kind of strutting around all good, you think you're better than everyone else. Because her grandfather came from France. Wow, great job listening.